Everybody, welcome into the PHNX Suns pregame show presented by BetMGM. I'm Lindsay. That's Saul, that's Flex, and that's Espo. And guys, the news is in. Book is playing tonight. I don't know how I'm feeling about this one. How are you guys feeling?
You want to go first?
Can I tell you in about 3 hours? Twofold. As somebody looking at it objectively just from the long-term goal of winning a championship, you go, I don't know how I feel about this. Is he 100%? Or is this coming back at 80, 90%? And is he going to overcompensate? You know, is this potentially setting him up for another injury? Because we've seen this story multiple times. But then as a player, I understand the desire to compete, and I understand there's probably additional factors going on right now that are pushing his desire to play as well. And I understand both sides, but when you look at the long-term goal, a Saturday against Memphis in December means nothing to me. Like if he rushed back because Lakers in-season tournament and he felt some way about that, maybe I think differently. But this is Memphis. This is a Saturday in December. This is not the end goal.
Yeah, I mean, we talked before the show. I'm not a fan of it. I'm going to be very honest. I'm not a fan of him coming back tonight. I'm shocked that he's coming back tonight. But I'm also going to be transparent about why I think he's coming back tonight. And it's no denying the fact that this 65-game mandate is now starting to apply pressure on these players. Okay, and again, I don't want to. I'm not talking about players wanting more money. At the end of the day, the simplest way I could put it is MVP means a lot to players. All NBA means a lot to players. Not the money portion of it, the accolades, what it means. Okay, and if you're a 9-to-5 person like all of us, right, and you get 3 weeks of PTO time, and you've had 2 weeks of unexpected shit happen in the first month of the year, you don't call out of work for the code. You just go to work and you thug it out. And I think that's where we are right now. Devin is looking at this saying, this one game versus Memphis on Saturday could be the reason why I play 64 games instead of 65 at the end of the year and I don't qualify for an MVP or something like that. And right or wrong, I'm just saying that's what a lot of this is about.
I know, but that's such a bad way of thinking because it could also be the reason why you're out for 2 more weeks and you inevitably end up missing that mark anyway.
You're right.
Like at the end of the day, you do have to weigh the pros and cons, but it's like, what's really more important, an MVP and meeting this threshold, or making sure your body is healthy, winning a championship, and having longevity within your career? Because to me, it's the latter.
Of course. It should be.
1,000,000%. I don't. I mean, I've watched some of these clips. You want to run it, Eric? We have a video clip of Devin warming up, and I saw one that Dwayne Rankin put out, and every time he landed, he didn't want to land on that right foot. But right here, looks all right. I mean, it's not high intensity right here, and he shoots off his right foot. So, listen, if Devin thinks he's good to go, I mean, I guess I got to trust him, even though he's done this before and it hasn't worked out. And I do think that he's coming back because of the postseason stuff. I don't think he wants to cross that threshold and cost himself the opportunity to become. If he has a phenomenal rest of the season and he comes short by one game, he's really, really going to be upset because that could have been the one time he got an MVP or, other awards. So I kind of get it. And coming back against Memphis, a team that you just blew out last week, maybe he feels like he can kind of maybe not have to go as hard in this game, still be effective and kind of save himself, another game.
I get it, but this to me is the unintended consequence of this 65 game rule.
Yep.
Because it was never meant to force a guy who was legit injured into making this kind of a decision. It was all about the Clippers of the world that were sitting guys to sit them. And I don't like this part of this rule.
Yeah.
Because he should not have to make the decision. Am I not 100%? Should I sit this out so I'm better to win a title or be able to compete for an MVP? Like, I just think it's a ridiculous way to approach this.
Amelia asks, how many minutes does he have to play for it to count? It has to be 20.
20?
It has to be 20 minutes.
20 minutes, correct.
Okay. Well,
because he's
Devin
quote
can play
unquote a
20
superstar.
minutes.
That's
it.
why.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to make people this is going to get reevaluated this summer.
Needs
League
to.
office, the board of governors, they're going to sit down, they're going to reevaluate this because, for lack of better, the rule's working. The NBA's got guys playing, right? I think you're right. The rule was intended to control load management, and this is one of the ramifications of it now. You got guys that are sitting here worried about awards and playing when they probably should take the night off.
See, they should have done this in phases and figured out which ones were actually necessary and which ones were not. I don't mind the whole, if a superstar sits out on a road game or if two or more or whatever, it triggers an investigation. You know what I mean? To make sure that players are actually injured. I don't mind that. I think they should have just started with that and maybe use that as a deterrent for guys resting to be eligible for awards like this. But I don't know. It concerns me, obviously, because our goal is to win a championship this year. But bigger picture, I'm a players person. So it's like your career matters so much more. The longevity of your career matters so much more. And if you push your body too much, you're going to hurt it to the point where you're going to lose years of your career, or you could potentially lose them. And that's even worse, in my opinion. Like, that just, I don't know. That's what worries me. But right now, I think Book has 8 more games he's able to miss?
Yep.
Before he is no longer eligible for those awards?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. That's disappointing as hell.
And Brad Beal's not even going to be able to qualify for anything.
Yeah, that's just
I always felt like that 17 number was way too low, man.
Listen, he might come out and ball. Like he might, his ankle might be legitimately fine, and we might be talking about nothing. Yeah, we don't know.
Facts.
Like, it's just one of those things. Like, it just feels. Listen, we're really basing this off of the history of ankle injuries, and to come back from something. I know he stayed on his feet, but he was limping pretty severely to the sideline, and he was limited in that game. So it's hard to imagine that 2 days of rest, all of a sudden he's good to go. So, but we could absolutely be wrong. He's got a lot of therapy that he's gone through. That might have fixed the issue, and maybe he's good.
And all the medicals were clear. So
I agree with you if there weren't a history of him coming back and then something else happening. And that's what concerns me is the track record, right? If Book had never come back early or never come back and re-injured himself when people perceived him coming back early, we're not saying a word. We're like, cool, Devin Booker's playing tonight, great. But the backstory of it all, what we've seen, I think, is what causes the hesitation with it.
Yeah,
and the fact it's Memphis.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's look at the rest of the injury report. We know Devin is playing. Unfortunately for the Suns, though, Eric Gordon will not be playing in tonight's game. He has a right knee contusion. Frank Vogel said that it came up in Friday's game, so he will be out tonight. Of course, Bradley Beal is still out. Bless the Grizzlies' hearts, you guys.
Do they even have enough guys to play?
I mean, my goodness. They are down to 8 guys right now. I'm not even going to list them all out because it's just too much at this point. You're just going to have to read the graphic. But I feel so bad for them. Like, I know injuries have sucked for us, but they're on a whole nother level.
They have a variety of different things going on, from guys being out for the season to guys being on 25-game suspensions to, these little knick-knack injuries that happen. It is tough to be a Grizzlies fan right now. 8 guys. I don't think I've ever seen something like that before.
Yeah.
When your injury report goes to 2 columns, you know it's not good.
Not good.
My goodness gracious. So let's take a peek at who is starting. We've got Devin Booker, Grayson Allen, Josh Okogie, Kevin Durant, and Yusuf Nurkic. No surprise really there. I mean, kind of mixing things up with Josh Okogie. I like that Frank's been kind of playing around over the last couple of games, though, with that 5th starter.
matchup base.
Yeah.
Do you guys think the Eric Gordon factor here may have made Book go, you know what, I can push it a little bit because Eric Gordon not out there, you lose another guard. I wonder if that kind of pushed the thinking to, I'm good enough. Let's go.
Right. I think there's a little bit of that on both sides.
Yeah.
I think the Eric Gordon news opened up both sides, the player and the team, to kind of evaluate this afternoon and say, okay, where are we really at? And they landed on come back.
I don't know. I am not going to, even though the Grizzlies, like, we beat them pretty easily the other night. They're injury riddled. I'm not going to fully count them out, though.
No,
I think if the Suns come out feeling a little lackadaisical about this game, thinking that it's going to be a walk in the park, things could go south really quickly.
Well, the Grizzlies have won 2 in a row. In both of those games, have held their opponent under 100 points. And I believe in both those instances, the team shot 37% or worse for the game in both of those losses. The opponent did. So this is an F around and find out kind of game. If you don't come out sharp, you don't play good defense, you could wind up in a world of hurt here if you're not careful.
Let's be honest. We all remember how the Memphis game ended, but that game was closer than it looked at the end for a long time. At one point in the third quarter of that game, I was starting to get a little worried. Like, damn, the in-season tournament just win the game. So they're scrappy, they're tough, and they're going to bring it. So, you can't sleep on them.
And in our game against them, Desmond Bane, I think, only had 6 points.
Yeah.
Which is not
his game.
not normal for him. And they're so both of these squads are on the tail end of a back-to-back. But last night, he led the Grizzlies to get the win. He had 30 points on 4 of 6 shooting from deep. So I feel like Desmond Bane has found a little bit of a rhythm. He probably feels some type of way about the shooting that he had when he played the Suns last week. He's somebody you got to keep an eye on.
I tell you what, Book better be healthy, because coming back against this team, this depleted, I don't care what they've done the last couple of games, and I don't care about Eric Gordon. Like, this is a depleted team. You just played the Nuggets really tough. And they were down, a couple guys, but they were still plenty capable of beating the Suns, as they did. And like, KD and company should be able to overcome that. That's just what it is.
Yeah, he should.
KD's not going to play as bad as he did the last 2 games in terms of shooting.
He shouldn't. No, he's not. He's KD. But I will tell you one thing that's got to be in the back of their minds. I mean, KD at home this year is 1-5 without Devin Booker. 1-4. 1-4 without Devin Booker, 0-4 in the last 4. So, I mean, walk like a duck and quack like a duck. Don't call it a dinosaur. I mean, he hasn't won a game without Devin Booker in the last 4 home games. So, I mean, to sit here and say that, we're gonna win with just Kevin Durant, I don't know right now. Like, I can't honestly say I'm comfortable like saying that.
You should be. I mean,
you should be.
You should be against this team. I mean, we just saw the injury report, and there's more talent on the injury report than is on the court right now for the Memphis Grizzlies. By the way, can we institute using the term Sega Baba on this show? The second game of a back-to-back. I think it's such a good basketball term that has not been used on this program.
It's just, it feels weird to say it. It's one thing to type it. It's weird to say it to me. I don't know.
I hadn't heard it till Shane Diefenbach said it to me a couple weeks ago about a bet, and I'm all in on Sega Baba.
I've seen it multiple times written. It's just, again, I think it feels weird to say it out loud. Another thing, so a couple things that I'm looking at for tonight's game is just the start in which the way the Suns come out tonight, because I think that's going to be a huge indication of how this game will go. If they start off hot and jump out to a big lead early, I think we're going to be in a good place. If they start out a little flat-footed, that's when I'm going to probably be a little bit nervous. And then another thing I'm looking for is just another big game from Nurk, right? He's had 2 in a row now. Like, I'd love to see him string another one onto that and continue this this ride that he's on that we all get to enjoy. He's been on a roll, so I want to see that continue. What are you guys looking for?
I want to see the other guys on the bench that didn't play very well yesterday step up. I want to see a little bit more from Nas Little when he gets the opportunity. I want to see if Yuta gets in there, if he's going to shoot the ball well. Grayson was all right. He wasn't like phenomenal, but he wasn't bad. I would like to see him step up now that Eric Gordon's not playing. I want to see the other guys. I don't care about KD and Book. I want to see everybody else step their game up and play their roles and play it to a high level.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I want to see these role guys step up and do their job. I will say this: I'm interested to see how they start this game as opposed to how they started the game in Toronto the other night.
Mm-hmm.
They completely took the ball out of Book's hand and had KD bringing the ball up, and that was complete opposite of what we've seen the 7 games prior. So I think we're going to get a good look at whether Devin Booker is full of, you know what, tonight, or if he's really feeling okay within the first couple minutes if they get the ball in his hands and run the offense the way they were. And that's what I'm kind of looking forward to.
Don't shoot yourself in the damn foot tonight. Play quality defense, clean the glass, limit the turnovers. If you do that, you shouldn't have a problem beating Memphis. But if you do the little things, don't do the little things well, and you give them a window, this is a team that'll take advantage of it.
Absolutely. All right, Espo, who's our Yeasty boy of the game?
Yeasty boy of the game. I was debating about this a lot today because we had a lot of good comments when it came to our Suns Discord today. But you know what? I think I'm going to go Org McFubin tonight.
Okay.
I love the name. I was active today in the chat. So Org McFubin, you are my Yeasty boy of the game. DM me your info in Discord, and I will make sure that you get some great hero bread sent directly to your home.
Yeah, if you weren't the Yeasty boy of the game, that's okay. You can still get your hands on some delicious hero bread. We've told you before, but they've got a bunch of different options from high fiber, ultra low net carbs, 0 sugars, you name it. They've got something for you. And right now they are offering you 10% off your first order. So just go to hero.co and use code PHNX to save on hero bread today. That is hero.co to save 10% with the code PHNX. What are the guys wearing in this one? Not white again, right?
Nope. We're going with the statement edition again, which means we're going to get the PHX court, the black uniforms with the Valley trim on them. And Memphis is wearing their association edition, one of their more bland uniforms.
Yeah. So almost a repeat of last night. Okay. I'm not mad at it. Who you guys got tonight and by how much? How are you actually feeling?
I got the Suns by 4 today.
Okay.
Suns by 10.
I'm going to go with the Suns by 9. I think this is kind of like the last game, though. They pull away late. It's not a wire-to-wire kind of game. I
have the Suns by 7. Saul, since you are the lowest number on this, why are you feeling like it'll be more of a closer game?
I actually am not. I was just playing it safe. I actually think they're going to control this game from beginning to end, and I think they're going to win by double digits. But I put 4 just to be careful.
And we didn't know about the Book news. We were all kind of operating under the idea that he would be out in tonight's game.
I actually don't think that really affected the game for me.
No?
Not for me.
No?
No.
El Sol has Suns by 16. Amelia has Suns by 14. Girth Jr. has Suns by 15 with adding in KD comeback game incoming. I hope that's the case. I would like to see a good game from KD for sure. I think he's due. Like it's just like it's not normal. You know what I mean? The last 2 games for KD. So I feel like this could be a good get right game for him. What do our friends over at the BetMGM Sportsbook app think?
Yeah, they have it as an 8.5 point favorite for the Suns tonight. So right in line with a lot of what we were thinking.
Perfect scenario would be the Suns just completely take control of this game, blow out the Grizzlies through 3 quarters, and then they're able to basically play Devin Booker 20 minutes to get that 20-minute threshold and then be able to sit both him and KD in the 4th quarter. That would be the perfect scenario. Give them each 6 minutes in each quarter, maybe 7, so that way you cross that 20-minute threshold and then call it a day. And hopefully the Suns bench can take care of business as well. That would be the perfect scenario tonight.
Yeah, if you don't have to play Book very many minutes tonight, I would be in. That would be the best case scenario.
And KD. God. And KD.
Yeah,
I know we tend to forget about the fact that KD is also injury prone from time to time. And he's 35. He could use rest. Every little minute of rest is helpful. So
especially because they're going to log major minutes on Tuesday against the Lakers in that first knockout round game in the tournament, and they're going to want to, be out there for every minute that they can. So, yeah, get him out as quick as possible tonight.
Yeah, and then those 2 days of rest are nice as well. I'm glad we got a Tuesday game and not a Monday game with the fact that we're dealing with this right now. What you guys putting your money on?
You can give me mine, Eric. I'll go with mine. Yusuf Nurkic first basket plus 625.
Okay.
I took it easy today. I just want to win. So I got the Suns winning, and I think the over of 218.5, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So
plus 155.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not too bad. Flex.
Yeah, I did something a little different today because I'm taking one of them Hail Marys. Winning margin, Suns will win by 10. Team points for them to score plus 119.5. So basically, got to score 120 points tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is weird as hell. This is so random, but it's going to end odd.
For the Suns.
Okay.
For the Suns.
So you needed
121.
121.
121. They hit 121. I'm going to hit a nice little plus 750.
Man, they're going to hit 120.
They are. That's what's going
to no. So it's interesting because I've looked at those bets, the odds evens before, and I've always been I've been so tempted.
It's Russian roulette. It's like
it totally is. And roulette is one of my favorite games to play. But I'm just like, I don't know. This just seems too much. I don't know why. I went with something simple tonight as well. I have the Suns money line and both teams to score 100 or more points. It's a plus 105. I know last week the Grizzlies did not get over 100 points. And so I did go back and forth between a yes and a yes, like I'm going with tonight, and yes and no, that both teams won't go over 100. But I decided to just say yes.
Wait.
The odds for yes and no, I believe, were like 290. So I don't know. I got a little nervous with a whole plus 290.
I was looking for that. I couldn't find it.
A plus 290 is just a little too wild for me, you guys.
I have a feeling that the Grizzlies won't hit that 100-point threshold tonight because I feel like the Suns kind of learned a little bit of a tough lesson yesterday by coming out like a bunch of assholes and not playing defense in the first half. Like, seriously, like that was some of the worst defense I've ever seen in the history of basketball, to quote Bill Walton. Like, and they can't do that. They can't afford to do that, especially not against good teams. Like, it was a layup line yesterday. So I think they come out and they kind of try to set the tone and prove a point and play better defense today.
Vogel talked about that in pregame, that he's like, I'm not happy with the defense so far. Far too many my bads, like guys just making mistakes and be like, my bad on that. And they need to clean it up. It's not like, I don't think this is some massive defensive scheme flaw. I think it's just guys not locking in and being in the places that they need.
They're not communicating. You know, the guys are going to the same man, leaving a guy wide open in the corner. Like, nobody knows who's there. It's fundamental stuff that's really kind of concerning. But I do also think that it is a chemistry issue. You know, defense is the hardest thing to get locked down as a team. But once you lock it down, then it all changes. And so I'm still plenty optimistic that they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. It's because there's constant changes. Every time they start to feel comfortable, guys out, new guys in. I think if they can get a nice little 10-game stretch where everybody's in and there's no hiccups, you'll see a much better team on a string.
Charles in the chat said, hopefully you all hit your bets. Fingers crossed, because we all took L's last night along with the Suns. So now Espo is minus 147.50. Saul, you are minus 81. And Flex, you are minus 45.41. I still am in the positive at 108.68. So fingers crossed, we all hit our bets tonight. Zeus also put one in the chat for us if you guys want to check out what they're thinking. So Katie under 29.5 points. Suns minus 10.5. Book over 25.5 points, a 3-leg parlay plus 440 odds.
That
and they say it'll
I don't
hit,
like
I
that.
promise.
That Booker over 25.5 ain't hitting tonight,
No,
I don't think.
that ain't hitting, and I think Katie's getting 30 tonight.
Can I want to address Sean.
It'll be
here.
interesting.
Sean says, during Katie's post-game interview last night, he said a lot of things are surprising Suns fans right now because he's new here, and I agree. Those who followed Katie for years have seen all of it before. They haven't seen 0 for 10 in a half.
Ever.
That's never happened in Katie's career, and I think that was what a lot of people reacted to last night in particular. So,
yeah.
But again, like overall,
He's been great.
Outside of the
fantastic.
shooting last night, he was really good last night. High assist, like somebody said,
assists,
18 to 2 assist to turnover ratio in the last 2 games. Like that, he's cleaned that up. That was something that we were kind of critical about, his kind of looseness with the ball and turnovers. But he's cleaned that up. Defensively, he was great. He had one of the highest defensive ratings in the game last night. Like, he was solid. The only thing he was struggling with was the shot. And a lot of those shots were in and out. Like, I'm cool with it. He's going to be fine.
And with Book back, he has to focus less on the distribution. So hopefully that helps on the shooting.
You'll
too,
see the shooting go in tonight. And again, there's nothing wrong with that being the case, though. Like, Kevin's 35. You just said it. He's 35 years old. He's got some mileage. He's not going to be a perfect player. And he's had 2 rough shooting nights. I wouldn't be surprised tonight if he shoots 65%. I mean, yeah.
I'm here for it.
These 2 games were very uncharacteristic of Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
Usually he shoots less than 20 times a game, and he's efficient as hell.
Yeah.
But these last 2 games, he's shot damn near 30 times a game. And it's
30
almost
and
out of
25,
necessity to a certain degree, because he doesn't really have a lot of guys that can create their own shot at will. So that's a major difference.
I believe he's also set the Suns record for most consecutive
30.
free throw makes at 67.
KD?
Yeah, KD.
I thought they were tied.
Or they tied? Was it a tie?
Yeah,
Consecutive free throws?
Yeah.
I thought he was still behind Nash. Or maybe after last night, he might be.
Booker has the record, I thought.
I thought it was Nash.
No,
it was
I'm
Booker.
pretty sure 67 is the record.
Yeah, it was Booker that had the record. They showed the graphic last
All
night.
right, I'm gonna have to look that up because I must have read it wrong, or I'm looking at a different one. If you guys want to get in on the action, download the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Right now, they have a $1,500 first bet offer for you. You sign up for BetMGM, you use bonus code PHNX, you place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app of at least $10. And if that bet loses, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. You can check out the show notes for full details. And now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
Yeah, so 67 straight free throws, consecutive made, single season record. So.
Nice. Any final thoughts, you guys, before we go watch this one?
Yeah, Bull's not playing because he shouldn't be playing.
They're saving him for the playoffs.
Dude, I don't know.
I'm so sick.
I don't know if you guys have seen. There was a graphic out on Instagram. And I shared it with these guys.
Have their fun.
And they were like, and they were trying to make it sound like a source has said that Frank Vogel told Bull that he's saving him basically for the end of the season to get him ready for the playoffs because he's afraid he's going to get injured. And I think that is the silliest shit I've ever heard in my life.
That's like the 50-year-old virgin saying, I'm just saving myself for marriage. I'm sorry, marriage ain't coming at this point. Bull's sitting on the bench unless somebody gets injured or multiple people get injured. It's a blowout or, the sky's falling. I don't know why. Those are basically the 3 reasons.
Bull's not playing because he has not been able to put together enough good tape. He is not good in practice. He has not been consistent in games. He's just a mid player. I'm sorry to say it, and everybody wants Bull to play because he's a unique specimen of a human being, but he's mid.
Let us have our fun.
I think mid is being generous, bro.
Y'all literally, before the season started, made me get on the roller coaster just to hop off.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
So rude.
Yeah.
So rude.
Psych!
Let all of us have our fun.
We're like, yeah,
when
we're
it
going to ride
comes
this
to the
roller coaster. And then we all
okay?
got to the edge, and Lindsay got on, and we're like, bye.
So rude. I'm so mad at all of you. The last thing I have, Garth Jr. asked where I got this beanie. This one's Nike. So you can find it on the Nike website. I just got it, so it's still available.
What color?
A yellowish color. It's yellowish.
It's split pea soup.
Your split pea soup. We'll be back after the game wraps up, so be sure to come hang out with us then. Okay, bye.
We all silly like the mayor.